Right. In this question, they just really want you to practice working on your ratios. I think that's really the thing. They give you turnover and they break down cost of sales for you into a number of things. So they basically add all these together and you get your total cost of sales. So you have your revenue, you have your cost of sales, you have your gross profit, and then you have your admin, your distribution, and your operating profit margin. And then you have some type, of course, this is actual versus budgeted. Um, So here and then here, so this is performance. This is kind of like reporting. So reporting, we then kind of do compare actual to budgeted, right? But in terms of performing, we're not really measuring internal variances, of course. So here, this was the amount of tea harvested and sold, number of harvest days, tea pickers less, daily cost of a tea picker, and these are the value of your net assets. And then they ask you to just literally perform a series of ratios. And they ask you cost of tea pickers as a percentage of turnover. So cost of tea pickers, um, here we are, cost of tea pickers, here we are, tea pickers, that's your cost as a percent. You're literally lifting, if you're doing that for both. So 132,000 divided by 787,500 is what you're doing. When you do that, you have 132,000 divided by 787,500. So I mean, I'm just doing a few, 0.167, and you would literally repeat that across here. If you look at the answers here, you can see you have 16.76% and 13.33. Likewise, you are literally just going through the band and going. We're going to jump to gross profit margin. Gross profit margin, literally, of course, is the percentage of gross profit. 485,500 divided by 787,500, and you do exactly the same thing. So I'm going to do that right now. 485,500 divided by 787,500, and I have 61.6%. And I'll go just check the answers and show you again. You have 61.65 if you like there. And then the other, of course, the operating profit margin would literally have been exactly the same thing, but this time using operating profit. Yes. And then you have return on net assets. So return on net assets is really saying how well, or if you like, how well did these net assets generate profit? So if you like, so you have here 35,500 divided by your net assets of 935,500. And that's what you're really doing. You're doing exactly the same thing here, 200. That's a big expectation there that you were looking for, of 1190, right? And so 35,500 divided by 93,500 is 3.7%, and that's what you see over here, and you do exactly the same thing for the next one. And then finally, your net asset turnover is really saying how, we've just done that earlier, how well did your revenue generate, or did your assets generate revenue? So it's a measure of productivity in effect. So you have turnover over net assets. And so here you have 787,500 divided by 935,500, right? So 787,500 divided by 935,500, and you have 0.84 in terms of turnover, and then you have 0.84 over here, and that's question 170.